Good evening, everyone. How are you all doing today? I am your host for Be Healed Web Show every week. Same Be Healed time, same Be Healed channel, 7 p.m. on your Facebook Live and YouTube Live. I am your host for tonight, and our conversation this month of May. Just been touching on some key things that is close to my heart. I think I said my name is Camille Perry. If I didn't, you see it on the screen. I am Camille R. Perry. I'm happy to be with you all on tonight. Um, this is going to be dialogue. I know you're probably like, how are we going to dialogue, Camille, when we see you, but you can't see and hear us? But I can in the chat. You can make your presence known in the chat. And that's how we'll continue to dialogue. So some of you all probably saw the title. Earlier today, I posted the power of community. And then I came back after talking to one of my executive producers, had to rephrase that to kind of narrow it down, and making sure that we touch on the value of your inner circle. Because I think that is more pertinent at the moment. We talked about community in different ways, but let's talk about the value of your inner circle. So we're going to jump headlong into that. Again, use that chat. I'll make sure to get us some dialogue going in here. And this is coming from Me Fi Me. This is my thoughts on the matter. Got a little supporting facts. I got some supporting facts. And you know how I kind of do with my supporting facts. We're going to touch on that. But let me just tell you where this comes from. So I'm getting ready to turn 37 next Monday. That's right, the 24th. Yeah, it's my birthday. And I've been reflecting over the years. Sometimes it's good to be introspective. I think it's necessary as adults, as humans, period, that we reflect and we kind of get back to seeing and try to measure our growth, where we are, how far we've come, and where we still need to go. And I was thinking today, and it's been kind of reverberating throughout a few months, the power and the vulnerability that one has when you're looking at your circle, your inner circle. So my village, my tribe, as my sister Amanda always says, you want to get a tribe that helps you thrive. The folks that are in my life are all speaking the same language. And I'm not talking about just English or anything like that. I'm talking about the same heart language. That is, I can't explain to you how important that has been right now in my life. So, for example, you all know that my goddaughter, my daughters, Sapati and Sonia, I've said it before, that I love my kids, my godson, Tavita, all of my godchildren. I can go down the list: Nola, KK, Nugget. I got godkids. I love them all. Ben and Ashley. Love my kids. But Sapati's been in a fight for her life regarding stage 4 nasopharyngeal cancer. And it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. Watching a loved one that you love so dearly since they were a newborn struggle in the way that they're struggling. It's hard. It's, for all my parents out there, you never want to see your child suffer. If you are a human with a heart, you never want to see someone else struggle. But when you have a village, an inner circle, a family unit, a community that rallies behind you to support you, it is immeasurable. So when it comes down to the things going on with my daughter, and no matter what the doctors might report, no matter what they're saying is the statement or what they believe to be true, you have people in your life, in your circle, that are yet praying and believing God for a miracle. That is needed. Um, they always make this statement, birds of a feather flock together, but I do believe that like minds mean something. As my mom is saying, that we are each other's brothers and sisters keeper. Absolutely. Um, I do believe that it is important for us as humans to make sure that we have a healthy community or a healthy inner circle that we can rely on. So as we're going through with stuff with Sapati, you have, and I'm not going to name everybody because if I leave somebody else off, they're going to feel some kind of way. So I'm not going to do that. But my inner circle, my family, my friends that have become family, sisters and brothers and different things, are just folks that have moved into my life, whether new or previously existing, are all saying the same thing. So one trial of life right now is dealing with the illness of my daughter and what all that means. And one of the main statements that everyone says is keep the main thing the main thing. Then there's other things that come up. No matter what happens in life, you're going to always have someone in your life or somebody's that don't like you, that don't know you, that are illiterate to the things of you. So what they don't comprehend, they try to attack. That's life. I always remind myself as well as others, they crucified Jesus. Those are the same people who were screaming, Hosanna in the highest on that previous Sunday. Come Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they was talking about kill him. So it is what it is. But when you have people in your life, in your tribe, in your community, in your inner circle, who bring value to you, they hold you accountable. I don't keep people in my life that just say, oh, Camille, how great thou art. No, I don't need fans. I need folks who will hold me accountable. I need individuals who will say, look, I love you enough, sis. I love you enough. I love you. I care about you enough to see you prosper and for you to grow, that this needs to change. Or have you thought about this? That means something when someone is not just trying to praise you, but they're also trying to help to get you where you need to go in life. Speaking the same language. That's what I'm focusing on right now. Speaking the same language regarding the value of your inner circle. So in speaking the same language, for me, it comprises of the support, it comprises of accountability, but it also reinforces principle, who you are at the principle of the matter. So for y'all that might just now be tuning into a Be Healed Web Show edition, feel free to, jump back every Tuesday and, look at previous episodes where I've interviewed guests or I'm speaking from my heart. I truly operate in transparency. You can thank my parents for that. I tell the truth, even to my own dismay at times. It is what it is. I rather own it. But when you have people, what I can say is that every time I get on the show or getting ready to speak, you have somebody in your corner who literally is saying, hey, this went well. I would work on this, or let's do this different. And it's not just show based, it's life. Or they're checking in, hey, I've been thinking about you, praying for you. Like all of that matters. And y'all know, because I lost my train of thought real quick, but I brought it back now because I was like, principle, there we go. Y'all know if y'all watch any of these episodes, I love God. Now, some of y'all know me or have seen me, whether I'm wearing my blue and white as a Zeta, whether you've seen me since I was a little kid and you were one of my teachers or school friends. Some of you know me from church in various capacities of church. But the end of the day, some of you work with me over the years, I love Jesus Christ. I make no qualms about it. That's my guy. Okay. Who loves me as is without any type of change or exception. He loves me as who I am. He loves me enough to help me change to get better. And that's another thing that I love about God. But I'm always for Christ. Now, people in my circle, in my unit, in my trust area, in my value circle, in my inner circle, in my tribe community, not everybody professes salvation. But everyone, the common denominator, has a reverential fear for God. Oh, huge reverence for the Lord, huge reverence. So, what happens in that, and this is my opinion, this is me by me, because you have individuals who are cognizant and aware that there is a God in heaven who sits very high and looks oh so low and is concerned about the minutia of life, the intricate details down to the very bane of our existence. And they realize, hey, it's not me, it's him. There's a humility exchange that individuals can have amongst themselves when they know that they're not the star of the show. That in this thing called life, it ain't about them. I know at the end of the day, I just want God to get the glory out of my life. So I have people in my life that God strategically placed in my life. There are some people that I might have observed from the distance for some time, you know, just like, okay, that might have happened. There's some people that, I purposely went out and like sought mentorship from them. Yes, but either way, it's divine setup, and that's what I'm grateful for. So I'm going through some things, and it's oftentimes when you feel overwhelmed or you feel like life isn't fair and you want to nuck and buck all at the same time, right? You want to just go there. But you have people in your circle all saying the same thing. And they're not talking to each other. They don't even know the same circumstances. They don't know all the details, but they're all saying the same thing. Trust God. We're praying for you. You're going to make it. When I tell you, not to mention, don't trip. Keep the main thing the main thing. Focus in on this, focus in on that. When they keep you grounded, they're keeping you focused. Because here's the thing, when you listen to the wrong people in your circle, when you listen wrong, you do wrong. Okay, before I get to my supporting argument. For example, you might have that person who's always hyped, ready to fight. They stay ready. They've nothing you but what, let's go. You know, okay, there's a time and place for that. But if every situation, there's a recommendation for you to lose it and lose your cool, your momentum, my mom would say, your witness, for you to lose yourself because you're acting in emotion versus fact and reality, you're going to look like a loose cannon. There's probably some people in your phone right now that that without a shadow of a doubt that you can't call them if something go down because you already know they're going to make you go to a place that you're trying to go from. So you're like, okay, I ain't going to call her. I ain't going to call him. I'm going to call somebody sensible, right? It happens like that. Yes, Kat. Nuck if you buckets all day, right? You have those people who have that in their mind. So the reality of it is we all are aware of individuals that we can't trust with certain pieces of information. There's some people in our lives, whether friend, family, or peripheral folks that we can't trust with everything. But those that you confide in, you trust their leadership and their counsel, or at least you should. All right. You listen wrong, or if you're looking on always to be validated in whatever thought, opinion you might have, if you're always looking for someone to say, yeah, baby, you were right, and you dead wrong, that's a problem. That's like having an itching ear. and wanting to receive only one thing. The scripture says, are we to receive blessings from God only? Like, is that what we think the sum total of life is? For us to just expect God to do, just bless me, bless me. That's, come on, God, that's what you're supposed to do. Just bless me. But he wants to refine us. And in refining, you're going to have to go through some stuff. In refining and making you better, you're going to have to endure some things. And for that, you're going to need wise counsel, because it can't just be with anybody. All right, so here's my supporting argument. I'm going to summarize, but I recommend you read it for yourself. Okay. I love Jesus, told you that already. And I love the word. A friend of mine, he was on the show back on April 13th, Brother Nas, he mentioned about not being a Bible thumper. Okay. I think that was like a try to direct attack, but it's okay. I'll wear it. But as I was thumping through the pages, I love in the Old Testament, there's so many, the whole Bible is amazing, but there is an Old Testament scripture in 1 Kings 22. There's a story about two kings. No, I was replaying back. I was quoting it back. It's all good. No issue there. In 1 Kings 22, there's a story about two kings, King Ahab and King Jehoshaphat. Okay. And so I'd recommend you read it. Okay. I recommend you read it. Especially if you're like me and you can read words and you can see it in your head, like you can like see the whole scene. Oh, it's good for that. But there was a time where, back in the Old Testament, even heck now, folks is warring, right? There's wars. We got the issue over in Israel and Palestine are fighting now. There's so much war happening. It's not something new. But during this time, King Ahab was getting ready to go to war and wanting to take out the children of Israel, God's chosen folks, right? And the war was between, was it Aram and Israel? Yeah, it was a war between those two, and Ahab, being an enemy of God, was looking like, okay, I need someone who's going to tell me what I need to hear. So you have a leader who, if you read more of the story about Ahab, he struggled with being a good leader. He was not a good king. Brother man had a very controlling wife that kind of negotiated quite a few things. He just wasn't a good leader. He didn't know how to lead. So he didn't take wise counsel. He literally wanted to hear from folks who would tell him he was right. And we've seen this, in previous administrations, folks who don't want to be told they're wrong or that they didn't apply themselves. It's a sad situation. It's not new. It's very common because it's part of human nature. It's a part of something that we as people have to work through and work on. So Ahab was trying like, okay, he was literally trying to partner up with some folks and be like, okay, if we partner together, we can win. And so Jehoshaphat, being the king of Israel, Jehoshaphat actually understood what was going on. Like, okay, yeah, there might be war, but it's bigger than that. Sometimes we think the stuff we're fighting is just like flesh and blood, but it's not. It's all spiritual. It's a spiritual thing. But anyways, that's a topic for another day. I'm talking about the value of your circle. But let me summarize this. King Ahab had back then and even now, you have advisors. He had advisors. He had folks that would tell him what he wanted to hear. And so Jehoshaphat was hearing like, hey, everybody who's coming in here is saying that you're going to win. Like, that just seems off. Like there's no contingency plan. Like if you are part of Lean Six Sigma or any type of project management, you always plan and budget for the worst. It's just one of those things because no one has a surefire, like, oh, I just know without a doubt we're going to win. It doesn't work like that. So he was like, so Ahab says, hey, there is a guy, there's a prophet. I don't really like him though, because he never tells me anything good. Read it, 1 Kings 22. And it was like, no, you need to go ahead and bring him. Bring him in here. Let's see what he has to say. And so they literally, I want to make sure I'm not messing this up. King Ahab of Israel and King Joseph, Judah, Justin, okay. So Ahab and Josephat was partnering in this one. And then it was already set out that, hey, you're gonna die. Like, Ahab, you're not gonna win this battle. Like, you've done too much stuff. You got to go. But he didn't want to hear it. And so the prophet that came, I want to say is Micaiah. I might be saying it wrong. Bishops and preachers and teachers, theologians, y'all read it. Y'all tell me how I need to properly say it. But nevertheless, he comes in and he says the truth. He says, hey, dude, you're not going to make it back from this war. Okay? You're going to die. It's just not going to work for you. You think you're going to win. I know everybody said in this room that you're going to win this battle. But God up there, no, he said, no bueno, dude. And so the false prophets, the false advisors, those people in his inner circle who meant him no good, that didn't hold strong value, he says to them, like he's basically, the false prophet is like, now, you lying, like, you talking crazy. So here's what Micaiah says, the real prophet of God says, I'm going to read it. Let me start at verse 19. Micaiah says, continue, listen to what the Lord says. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne with all the armies of heaven around him, and on the right and on his left. And the Lord said, who can entice Ahab to go into battle against Ramoth Gilead so he can be killed? So here's the scene. The prophet of God is saying, look, I got a little peek, and God on his throne was asking all, because we all, look, we're all subject to the Lord. He says, who gonna go down there and get him? How he gonna die? Like, who's gonna encourage him to do the wrong thing so this end can happen? What spirit is this? Now remember, all foul and perverse spirits are still subject to God. It ain't just angels that bow to every knee got to bow, every tongue got to confess, everything. The devil himself, he gonna have to admit that he is Lord. Absolutely, it's just gonna work that way. That's just how this whole faith thing works. So the prophet of God is telling Ahab the king, hey, dude, I know what that prophet said. Oh, you gonna win. You gonna have $1 million by Sunday. Okay, if you turn around 6 times, it's the same stuff. What spirit? God is asking, hey, because remember, it's everybody that has to give an account before God. This is no different from when God had I would say like a all hands meeting. And he was asking the devil, where you going? Where you been, man? And the devil's like, oh, I just been walking up and down the earth, seeing who I can take out of here. It's the same thing, okay? There's meetings happening in the heavens. So he says to him, God asked the question, who's going to go down and entice Ahab to go to battle against God's people so he can be killed? And then it says there were many suggestions. And then finally, a spirit approached the Lord and said, I can do it. God says, how will you do this? The Lord asked. And the spirit replied, I will go out and inspire Ahab's prophets to speak lies. You will succeed, says the Lord. Go ahead and do it. And so Micaiah then begins to say, so you see, the Lord has put a lying spirit in the mouths of all your prophets, for the Lord has pronounced your doom. Here's the deal. When God has said it's going to be a certain way, it's going to be a certain way. Good, bad, or indifferent, it's going to be what it is. But when we as people don't value our inner circle with those who are like that we can entrust with the fear and reverence of God, who know how to hear from heaven, in the times that I'm living in, I don't need somebody who's gonna be like, I'm just gonna send you positive thoughts and vibes. It's great when I hear, okay, thank you, but I need somebody who's gonna pray. I need somebody who's gonna believe God for a miracle. I need someone who's going to say, you know what, sis, you handled that wrong. I think you need to do this. Don't let these people, don't let this be said. Stay focused on what God has you to do. You need good counsel. You need your circle can impact where you go in life. So if you continue reading 1 Kings 22, that false prophet Zedekiah walks up and slaps the man of God. Was like, what you mean? When did the Spirit leave me to talk to you? Well, clearly you don't know who God is. Because he don't, and this is one thing I'm talking about, speaking the same language in my village. The individuals who are telling me the various things that are saying the same, let me say the same synonymous things, some of them don't even know each other. Some of them don't even know the full magnitude of what's happening, but they're all saying the same language. Stand still, trust God. He got you. He'll fight for you. The miracles, like it's the same thing. It's not like, first of all, why would the devil tell me to stand still? Why would the devil tell me to trust God? So clearly I know it's not coming from him. You consider the source and the force. But you have this peace, this joy that rests. I thank God for the folks who are in my community, in my inner circle, who truly bring value to my life. And it's not because they want, it's not just because they want to see me succeed. It's because they want to see God's glory out of my life. They want to be able to see and bear witness like, man, look how far she's come. Oh my God. I'm so grateful she's staying consistent, staying faithful. That's what value in your inner circle will bring. Good results. If anyone is causing you to contaminate or to thwart the plan or to become disillusioned of what you know your purpose is in life, you need to check your circle. As much as we check our bank accounts before we go out the house or make a transaction, we need to do that same inventory with our friends and who we call in our circle. Who are you listening to? Ahab didn't want to hear it. Ahab was like, I'm going to go out there. Don't worry. I'm going to disguise myself. I'll survive. Everything will be fine. Ahab didn't come back from that war. What was interesting is Micaiah, the prophet, he was just like, listen, if you come back from this war, okay, then clearly I messed up. But let me just tell you, you ain't coming back. Mark my words. It ain't happening. And the man died. I mean, when he has the final say on your life, he has the final say. So I would recommend, here's my recommendation. I gave my supporting argument in regarding facts and there's countless of stories where you can read in the scriptures where your core relationships, yes, Roxy, as you're saying, core relationships, that matters. Who's in your core? Who is uplifting you? Who is building you up? Who's encouraging you? Who's refining you? Who is helping you to be better? If everybody is blessing you and saying how great thou art, you need to check your circle. Period. And yes, I totally agree. Nothing wrong with reevaluating your inner circle. Some people aren't sent from God for it. Some people are sent from God for a season. Yes. Yes. Because reevaluation is necessary. Because like you said, Kedrick, people are not they're sent for a season. Ain't nothing worse than holding on to folks who have been out of time in your life. I used to be notorious of wanting to keep people close because of pre-existing relationship. Oh, I've been knowing them since I was 5, or I've been, oh, that's family, or this is. Sometimes you will outgrow people and situations. And if you're not bold enough, strong enough, and wise enough to know that the love doesn't have to stop, You can still love the person, but they should not have the same real estate that they once occupied. There's some people in my life that don't have the same real estate in me. They just don't. There's no love lost. I wish and pray their strength. Should I say let them go? But I have to move forward to where I need to be in life. Yeah, sometimes you gotta let them go. I keep hearing Teddy Pendergrass, think you better let them go. Let them go. Okay. So real estate, go on. This is my last thing about value in your inner circle. I thank God for being a homeowner. It's a blessing. It is a burden as well, but I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the opportunity. Everything that's happened in my life, good, bad, and indifferent, like I was telling God in prayer this morning, I thank you. Despite everything all that's going on, I still have a genuine God, thank you. Okay. As a homeowner, you get calls saying from, especially right now, it's a seller's market. Oh, we want to buy your home. Hold up. Oh, it seems like you have equity in your home. Okay. After owning a home for a certain amount of time, you do receive equity as long as you're paying them payments, right? You pay that thing down and the value of your area goes up, then okay, it works. And different upgrades that you can do in the home. I've had a few upgrades done in my home. Shout out to my parents and to the part of my tribe that are my construction folks. And I'm grateful for that. So there's been things that have been done on the inside that some folks ain't never gonna see. Because one thing I can tell you, I don't let everybody in this house. Hello, let alone upstairs. So there's been some equity building things that have happened in my home. And then I try to make sure the lawn looks good, keep the grounds and everything. Want to make sure the house looks good on the outside to have that curb appeal. But a lot of the equity has nothing to do with the work that I've done in here. It's the surrounding area. They're improving schools, they're improving the streets, they're improving other houses are stepping up their game. So what's surrounding me is what's helping my value of my home increase. Some of y'all might live in Los Angeles over there in Inglewood where the stadium is coming in. 30 years ago when you bought that house, or 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, you didn't know a stadium was going to come. And now your house is that market value is probably almost through the roof because all the businesses are coming. What I'm saying is when you look at what's happening around you, are you losing value or are you increasing? Do you have equity or are you getting some depreciation? Where is it at? You want to have a strong position in life. And you can't have that with individuals, with people with your circle that do not express and grow, try to mature your value, not your ego, your value. Not the, King Kong ain't got nothing on me. No, not that, but your value. Where's your moral sensibility? How are you growing? How are you maturing? How are you being refined? That is what makes the difference. So to the people who are in my community, in my inner circle, those who are part of my tribe, I thank God for your presence, whether you are sent on assignment for a season or for a lifetime or for various seasons. I am grateful. I am a better me because of the individuals who I can trust with my heart and my life to make me better. My charter founding members being my mother and father and sister, absolutely. But all those that have come since 1984, I'm grateful. So as I approach my 37th trip around the sun, and no, things are not perfect. No, things are, where I would like everything to be. There's still some outstanding prayer requests. Absolutely. But I would be remiss and less of an individual and just flat out ungrateful if I didn't tell God, thank you for the people he has placed in my life. So I ask you tonight, what's in your emotional wallet? Who is in your emotional space? Who's in your counsel? Who's in your ear, y'all? Is it folks with value? Or is it folks like what Ahab had that only said what he wanted to hear? We need to get better. So that's my thoughts for tonight. Thank you all who tuned in and who chimed in. The end of the day, we as people got to be better. Take the time, reevaluate. Just do a, for my financial folks, do a cost benefit analysis. Sometimes you got to do that in relationships, in your different relationship dynamics, whether it be professional, personal. Um, see where see where you're weighing, and see where you're at, and see where others are at with you. And then if it's that season for you to say so long, farewell, my friend, do that. Every tree or every plant has to be pruned for it to grow. Don't be so resistant to the cutoff. Don't be so hesitant to the refining. Don't be so listen and make sure the folks in your circle, in your tribe, in your community, whatever it might be, your sanctum, they're speaking the same language. And that if that language isn't unified in the core principles of who you are, for me it's Jesus Christ, for somebody else it might be something else. But if it's not prospering you, promoting goodness, promoting his glory, you got to really check who you chilling with. Yeah, that's my thoughts. So if you enjoyed this, okay, and some of you that might have been watching for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to have you. Please subscribe to that YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, or if you want to just go to my YouTube channel, type in Camille R. Perry, hit subscribe. Okay, I would love to see it. Or make sure you hit the like button. Share this with somebody. If it was good to you, it might be good for somebody else. The end of the day, I'm always going to operate in transparency. Do I get everything right? No, not at all. Have I done everything right? No, not at all. Do I get taken to the woodshed? Yes. Do I have folks who hold me accountable? Absolutely. And have I been the better for it? Still growing, still going. And that's what matters. So as my mom says, her favorite scripture, one of her favorite scriptures, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways, acknowledge him, knowing that he'll direct your path. That is where I'm at in my life. As I'm journeying to 40, listen, as I'm headed my way to 40, my focus and my intent is to be better each year than I was the year before. So when I look back over my life and I see where I've come from and what I've done, where I think the work, who's in my life, who I'm giving energy to, man, I'm taking the best. I don't want to say the val. How I want to say that. I'm making the best of the time God has given me. When you're looking at the fragility of life daily, the way I do when I look at my baby, you begin to refocus on what's important. You begin to reconsider what you've been giving your energy to. When you understand the fragility of life, and that one little dash between your entrance and your exit means a heck of a lot more than what we've been putting all of our energy and our exertion into. No, I'm not doing that. If it's not going to be edifying, I think it's in Philippians 4, 8 through 13, when he talks about think on these things, whatever is lovely, whatever is pure of good report. Like, if people in your circle are constantly bringing you the negative, they're constantly bringing you some hate speech, they're constantly bringing you, let's tear so-and-so down. If there's no edification, There's no positive thinking. There's no, let's move forward. Let's plan something. Let's go somewhere. You need to check who's in your ear. God is always speaking, but are we, just like last week, are you hearing? Are you listening? Where you at? Did you hear it, but you didn't pay no attention to it? Be intentional and listen to what God is. Because, honey, I can listen. I can there. Whew, I can go. I can get there. But if I try to vindicate, or if I try to stand, oh, I need to let them know. I need it. I got. No. Exodus 14:14. If you hold your peace, the Lord will fight for you. There's some times where you just gotta hush and say, God, this is you. All this is you. Fix me where I'm wrong. Change my way of thinking. And God, you do what I need you to do. Because I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if I nucked and bucked at the times when I want to nuck and buck, I don't want to risk the blessings that I'm asking God to do in my life. I'm not risking that being held up in the heavens. I'm not risking myself. It's like you standing in line for like hours, right? You're standing in line, whether it's for a roller coaster, get into a Tory Burch store or whatever. You stand there for hours and then you like, oh, I'll be right back. And you step out and ain't nobody holding your spot. And you got to get back in line again because you got out of line. I don't want that. So I'm going to stay in line. So if that means I got to stay quiet, if I got to stay prayerful, if I got to stay, in a place where it makes me feel uncomfortable, that's fine. But I'm going to stay there till God tells me to come out. And that's why when you have folks in your life, in your circle, who promote that way of saying, girl, listen, keep the main thing the main thing. Trust God. I got folks texting me from different states, and they don't know nothing that's going on, but they know who Jesus is. And they are obedient enough to, when he sends a word to them, to share with me. And I'm grateful for that. So in this life, we're going to have trials and tribulations. Be prepared for that. Yes. Understand that. Yes. But know that he's coming. He's with us in those trials and tribulations. And it's imperative that if we say that we know God, just like one of my mentor mama friends told me yesterday, if you believe in the God that you profess, believe him to work it out. Those are the people that are in my corner. And for that, I know God is going to bring me to good success, because I have individuals who have a mind for peace and not of evil. And God says he'll resist the proud, but give grace to the humble. So if humility looks a little weak for some, if humility look like, oh no, you taking L's, no, I wouldn't stand for that. No, you need to let them know. Let them know what? Humble is the way. God, you'll promote, you'll do what you're going to do. You're faithful. So God, you said, if I suffer with you, I'll reign with you. So God, help me to endure. Help me to stand my ground in you. Help me to stand firm. Help me not to lose sight of the main thing. Help me to know to honor you in all of my ways, knowing that you'll direct my path. And that's where we need to be in life. So if your ways are not lining up the way they should with what you know is right, ask yourself, is it pride standing in the way of that? Is it your ego? If it's any of those things, shake that off, man. Seek God, pray, get you a community that is going to say, hey, girl, hey, man, let's talk to God about it. Did you pray about this? And watch things get for your better. All right. Well, ladies, thank you all for tuning in. Ladies that tuned in tonight, this portion is for you. Be Healed Women's Virtual Conference happening August 19th through the 21st. We're going to have some that are going to be, I'm going to have probably about 25 to 30 that are going to be live in the venue, and everyone else will be virtual for those that are comfortable and, of course, following COVID protocols. But go ahead and register. It's only $40 registration at BeHealConference.com. There's bonuses for everyone who registers, and even those who have already registered. You're going to be getting an email very soon with some product links. As you can see, I'm wearing, I faithfully wear my eyewear products from emframes.com. So I'm telling you, there's some benefits. You hear me? If you want, go ahead and you register for Be Heal Conference. And so, with that being said, again, I love you. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I feel better today than I felt in a long time. So thank you all for tuning in. This has been another episode of season two. This is episode 19, where we talked about and just kind of share from my heart the value of your inner circle. So what's in your circle? Who's in your circle? Okay. Do inventory and see where everything measures out. Until next time, next Tuesday, which will be the day after my birthday. Have a blessed week. Same Be Heal time, same Be Heal channel, Tuesday night at 7. Follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Hit subscribe on YouTube, hit like or share on Facebook. And I appreciate you all. All right, till next time, have a good night and be blessed, but most importantly, be healed.